Beerzerker! It's the Sho Chiku Bai from Berkeley, California, right? 15% alcohol by volume. This is the classic Junmai sake, naturally brewed. So I've been drinking on this for a little while. This is the low-grade sake, okay? So I've been trying to get more into sakes and trying some more sakes out. And so that means that this is the stuff that you may have heard of, supposed to be drinking it warm kind of thing. So, and that's true. It says that it's excellent warm at room temperature. It's also excellent. And, yeah. And it's good, and on the rocks it's good too, or whatever. But, so a lot of these sakes you're supposed to drink chilled, so maybe something you don't know. This is lower end, so probably not polished away to the degree as some of the other ones. So I've had this a little bit here on the heater. Alright, so it should be, it's fairly warm now. So a lot of aromas coming up, very vaporous, very syrupy. Getting a lot of alcohol off the aroma. Noticing that right away. And I just use this glass because it's got a nice flat bottom for putting on the heater to warm up. Otherwise, you may want to boil a pot of water and submerge your cup in there like that. But you're not going to boil the sake. You're just going to boil the water, let it cool down a bit, or maybe just get the water to a certain temperature. You may want to Google the exact temperature and have a thermometer on hand. Oh, yeah. Running pretty good down the side of the glass there. That's a lot thinner, being hotter. Really nice, clean flavor. I actually really like this sake. And I like all the sakes I've tried. It takes a little bit of getting accustomed to. And some of them taste a little more moldy than others. But this one's quite clean. It's very unintrusive. Nothing, no off flavors whatsoever with this. Wow. So, we can also pour some cold and kind of compare them. Not cold, it's just, maybe cellar temperature-ish. A shot glass here. So here's a color. Totally clear. I had the Sho Chiku Bai organic Namasake, which was polished away to 60%. 60% of the rice grain polished away. That was excellent. It was a lot more money. This is about a $13 bottle, if I remember correctly, for this $7.50 here. So, I've never had too much sake that I was really offended by. So, wow. What brings out more of a sweeter, makes it a little bit sweeter, a little bit of more fruitiness, almost a bit of a floral, like a flower, kind of pollen type flavors going on. Nice, refreshing texture. That way, it's almost a slight like fennelly licorice type. Not that flavor exactly. I always say that with sake. and a couple other things too, but kind of that same heat, that same spicy penetration and all that. Kind of that aftertaste. Similar, although the taste is not. It's just I know I shouldn't even say it if I can't make sense of it, but oh yeah, that's sweeter. Really bringing out the sweetness of it. It's not really that sweet of a beverage, but it's bringing out like a nice fruitiness, a little more runny, a little more like I say, more flower-like aromas. Almost like you're smelling more alcohol when it's warmed up, but you're actually tasting more when it's cold. So little more boozy when it's cold. Wow. This to me, compared to the other ones, this is just showing a little bit more of the rice flavor. You're pulling out just straight plain old rice, white rice, getting that kind of starchy rice flavor a little bit more because maybe it is not polished away as much. So you're not getting down to the center, that little grain of goodness that they're after in the middle. Of course, they grow special rice for sake and probably more than one variety. Same thing with barley, obviously, but what I can't say is I like too much one way or the other. This is actually really cool, drinking it warm like this. Really changing the texture of the beverage, really changing the viscosity completely. It's much more runny. I think it's way more floral and just just popping a little bit more. This is it's a little more colder. Of course the flavors are more hidden. Same kind of with beer. A lot of beers that taste a little bit more nasty, you want to chill them right down generally. And the warmer you get them, if it's a good quality beer, you'll taste the things you want to taste, hopefully. Yeah, it's good, cool. It is almost like a completely different sake though, warmed up. I'm gonna rate this pretty high, especially for the value. Like $13, that's as cheap as most of the real cheap wines. I mean, you can get an excellent wine as low as like $9 generally if you know what to look for, and that's up here in Canada. So imagine it'd be even a little bit cheaper in the States. So that's not a bad price at all for 750 at 15% alcohol by volume. Sake is a bargain, and this is grown in it's brewed and bottled by Sake USA. So this is I do believe that this is all from Berkeley. So this is probably, I would imagine, California rice. So if you're really paranoid about the radioactive shit from Fukushima, well, I think it's not as big a deal as everyone thinks, but this is a long ways away from there. So if you're worried about radioactive stuff, yeah, maybe I'll have to put some tinfoil on. Get a little more to ward off the radiation. I'd say it's pretty good. As far as sake goes, there's probably, it's not that great, but I think almost any of the sake I've had has been great. It's really, I'm sure there's probably a real bad one out there. Even the Gekiakin, which I think is the cheapest sake, when I was buying it was like $7 for $7.50. So a really good bargain. I didn't mind it at all. Not as good as this, I don't think. From what I remember, it was a little bit worse than this, but still a really good product. So I highly recommend trying sake if you are not familiar with it. And I'm going to give this 8.5 as a beverage overall. And I know sake can get upwards of like $1,000 a bottle and crazy stuff like that. But same thing with wine, and I don't really believe in that type of behavior. I mean, I'm sure I don't know. When it comes to wine, if you want to check out some cheap Boombastic wines, come to the channel. Check out, I got that all separated on a separate listing for wine reviews, hop reviews, beer reviews, and starting to do some parody sketches. So, yeah, I'd say this is easily an 8.5. So, I would highly recommend drinking this. Just buy it. It's $13. It'll sit around for a while. I put it in the fridge. It's not going to oxidize on you that easily, so you can... I mean, I'd probably drink it within like a week and a half or something, but I think you're pretty safe, and from what I've read, sake is safe in the fridge for a little while. Why the hell not? Beerzerker, and I'm out! Yeah!